Hey, what's up, guys? Excuse me. So, I want to come to you this morning and talk about the weekend recap from February 23rd, which was this past Saturday. Kind of had a few days to reflect on it. I want to talk about the three cards that we had. So, I want to kick it off with we'll go lowest to highest in terms of importance, but the main event of the zone this past Saturday. How about former champ Humberto Soto? Big upset over Brandon Rios. I think this is surprising, even though Rios, we all know Rios is not really legit anymore in terms of being a real threat at the top of the division. But going into the fight, as I said, he gave Danny Garcia hell about over a year ago, back in 2017. It was a good fight. He was really in that fight with Danny, and Danny knocked him out. But going in against Humberto Soto, 38-year-old former two-division champ. But, I really just thought this was just a setup fight. That's what it was supposed to be for Rios. And Soto just went out there and outboxed him and outworked him, and pretty impressive. I got to say I'm happy for Soto. He was always, in my opinion, an underachiever, even though he won titles in a couple different weight classes. He never had that big oh wow victory that kind of turned everybody's attention to him. He had some nice wins, but never that big money win that people wanted to see. And I was disappointed when he got knocked out against Matisse a few years ago, just by the way that Matisse it was pretty brutal. Congrats to him. Not sure what it's going to mean for him going forward. I'll probably get into that on my What's Next series. But a nice win, and good way at the end of your career to kind of close things out. But yeah, nice win over Brandon Rios. We'll go to the Fox card now, the Fox Sports 1 card, which was first on the undercard. You had Jamal James return to action, got a 6-round TKO. He was actually fighting at home in Minnesota, so a nice win there. He still keeps himself relevant. Hopefully, moving forward towards a bigger fight next. So congrats to him. And then heavyweight Joe Joyce returned to action, took on Bermane Stiverne, former world champ. No surprise, but he really broke Stiverne down, and I like how humble Joe Joyce is. He said that he's not on Wilder's level yet, so he wasn't going to blast Stiverne out in the first round like Wilder did. And I thought that was pretty impressive, and he did it. He broke him down, scored a 6th-round stoppage over Stiverne. But, it was a nice performance. It was a good, solid performance. He was in control the whole way. He got caught with some good punches early, but really weathered that and, just kept pouring it on. And it was a pretty impressive performance by him, and we'll see what he does going forward. He's getting himself closer and closer to top 15 status, and I think by the middle to the later in the year, we're going to be seeing him in a bigger fight. So congrats to Joe Joyce. Now in the, that was part of the Showtime card. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place right now. Let's go to the main event of the Fox Sports card. That was Anthony Dirrell and Avni Yildirim. I actually didn't see this fight. I was out, but I read the report on it. I haven't had a chance to go back and watch it yet, but apparently this fight was pretty damn close, which I'm surprised by. That Anthony Dirrell at this stage against a fighter like Avni Yildirim had a close fight with somebody, but he did, and this guy put on a good performance against him. It went to a technical split decision because of a cut after 10 rounds. And they scored it a split decision for Dirrell as he becomes a 2-time world champ now. So after the fight, he said he wants to fight either Caleb Plant or even that he'd be into fighting David Benavidez. So no retirement talks as of yet. Again, we'll get into Dirrell on the What's Next series, at some point in the next week or so. I'm sorry, guys. But, I guess, he's a 2-time world champ again. Not really much I can say about it because I wasn't watching the fight, but I am surprised that the fight was close. because I really thought he was going to outbox and dominate Yildirim. But, Yildirim put up a good fight, so maybe that's a testament to how good he is. And maybe it's more of a testament to how good the guy in our main event on the Showtime card, Chris Eubank, is. Because Eubank destroyed Yildirim back at the end of 2017 when they fought in the World Boxing Super Series tournament. He knocked him out in only 3 rounds. So Eubank took on James DeGale and really dominated DeGale. He scored a couple knockdowns in this fight, and he was just all over James DeGale. Nice, impressive performance. The fight, in my opinion, was not close at all. I really was watching the fight, and I wasn't officially scoring it because I was kind of in and out of the room. But from what I saw, I think about 8 or 9 rounds in favor of Eubank is fair, maybe even 10 rounds. Because DeGale just wasn't throwing any punches. He just did not seem interested in engaging and really even boxing. He could have thrown his jab a lot more and made a fight of it, and he just didn't do much. And I think DeGale's pretty much done, in my opinion, because he just looked like crap. But part of the reason he looked like crap is because Eubank caught him with some mean, wicked punches, and put him down a couple times and really made DeGale fight scared, and DeGale, he really made DeGale just hold on to survive kind of attitude, and that's exactly what happened. So great performance for Chris Eubank. This is the biggest win of his career. Very impressed by that. We'll get into what he's going to be doing going forward when I do my what's next, but after the fight he was talking about that he could move back down to 160 because that's his more natural weight. That he could still make the weight. He's only fighting up here because nobody would fight him at 160. But I guess now that he's got a pact with the PBC now, that he's into fighting whoever, whether it be Caleb Plant or whoever. And you know what? He's an entertaining fighter, and I'm looking forward to seeing him fight again. I would love to see him and Caleb Plant lock horns and see how good Chris Eubank really is. Because he kind of disappointed us against George Groves last year in the World Boxing Super Series when he got just completely dominated and outboxed. But this is a nice win over a good, legitimate former 2-time champ in James DeGale, and a career win for Chris Eubank. And congrats to him. We already talked about Joe Joyce. Real quick on the undercard, Lee Selby. They didn't show this fight, but he got a win in his first fight at lightweight over Omar Douglas. And that's pretty much it, guys. So hope you enjoyed this. I'll be back later this week to discuss the preview for this weekend's Showtime card, which is Erislandy Lara against Brian Castano, which should be a good fight. And also Luis Ortiz, King Kong, is back. So that should be good. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Have a good one. True Boxing, been hit with the truth.